You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Happening today, it is Decision Day. Voting begins in 2 hours across Florida and here on the Suncoast. We'll have a live preview of all you need to know this morning.
Plus, just how much red tide is now impacting our shorebirds here and what you can do to help if you see one in distress.
And how is your retirement fund? We've got some new numbers this morning that might surprise you. Good morning. Glad you're with us. Suncoast begins right now. I'm so excited about voting today.
I know. I'm excited about retirement plans. I can stop making all those seashell animals to sell.
How is that going for you?
I'm going to start saving for retirement.
Might be a good idea.
Well, it is 5 a.m. Let's head over to John Scalzi.
I'll take two.
Yes!
So we're looking at some showers again this morning coming in off the Atlantic coastline. A pattern exactly the same as yesterday, and I think we'll see our weather be pretty much the same as it was yesterday as well, with showers and thunderstorms moving into our neck of the woods as we head into the late afternoon and early evening. Some of those storms could be strong, as they were yesterday when lots of rain fell around Venice and parts of Manatee County, and even some damaging winds were seen. Well, right now everything is quiet, and that's the way it's going to be for your drive time this morning. But by afternoon, we'll watch temperatures climb to near the 90-degree mark. Right now they're in the mid-70s in inland areas, upper 70s close to the coast. And we'll have again today excellent chances of rain coming in at 50 or 60%. The complete forecast coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Let's check the roads right now. We'll see no real problems so far in Manatee County, all clear at this juncture. Checking farther south, here's the situation in the northern half of Sarasota County. Nothing so far in the red, should be a clear sail. And then checking with our friends in the South County region, all good, so get out there and vote when the polls open in about 2 hours.
Well, as he said, happening today, it is the Florida primaries. People from all over the state will be casting their votes on national, state, and local races.
Our Marla Spence joins us now live from Precinct 123 in the city of Sarasota with a look at what you need to know before you vote today. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Polling locations like the one behind me will be opening up at 7 o'clock this morning, but poll workers will be out here a little earlier than that, though, getting ready for today's primary elections. Now, this morning, we are telling you a few things you need to know before you cast your vote, according to the Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections Office. They tell us, first, you need to know your polling place before heading out. Voters must vote at their polling place in their assigned precincts, and you can find that information on the back of your information card, on your voter registration card. And if you don't find that information on that card, you can call the elections office for help. Now, voters must also have a valid and current photo and signature ID ready when checking in. And if you do not have an ID, you will be offered a provisional ballot. Now, valid IDs will include a current Florida driver license, a Florida ID card, U.S. passport, debit or credit card, military and student ID, retirement center ID, and a neighborhood association ID. Now, those are a list of IDs that will be that can be presented when you are voting. Now, remember, polling locations will be opening at 7 o'clock this morning and closing at 7. And remember, there are close to 315,000 registered voters just in Sarasota County alone. So you do want to make sure that you come out to your polling locations early to cast your vote. Coming up at 5:45 this morning, we are going to be talking to the Supervisor of Elections, Ron Turner, for more information on what you need to know before you cast your vote. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks so much, Marla. Well, now those polls are going to be closing at 7 o'clock tonight, and we're going to bring you the results as soon as we get them here in our newsroom, live in our 7 and 11 o'clock newscasts as well as online and in our ABC 7 app.
And many of you have voted already through mail-in or early voting. Almost 2 million Floridians have already cast their ballots. A Florida State University professor says the rise in early voting means the respective campaigns need to get their messages out earlier than usual.
Generally, people who vote early or absentee would have voted anyway. So sometimes it's a substitute rather than an addition. So if indeed we see more people voting in person, then that'll be quite terrific.
And if you still have that mail-in ballot, they need to be in by 7 o'clock tonight.
And over to Washington now. The big news yesterday, the U.S. and Mexico reached an agreement to change parts of NAFTA. Now, Trump announced it with the president of Mexico live on a conference call from the Oval Office with both reporters and cameras in attendance. Now, that agreement would revise some key portions of that trade pact long criticized by President Trump. In fact, it was something that he campaigned about during his run-up for president. Now, Trump also announced that he plans on changing the name of NAFTA in general, as he feels it gives out negative connotations.
Some Longboat Key residents turned out to talk about sea level rise yesterday. Environmental experts shared a study that shows there's been a sea level rise of 7.5 inches over the past 70 years on Longboat Key. The northern section of Longboat Key has the lowest areas and are therefore most prone to flooding, while the southern and middle sections are a little higher.
The good news is that the rate has been very low relative to other parts of the country. And while we have seen a slight increase in the rate of sea level rise over the last 8 to 10 years, even that rate is still low.
Folks were pleased that Longboat Key is approaching the conversation and looking at what very practical measures can be made to mitigate some of the effects of a rising sea level.
This sea level rise assessment is something Longboat Key officials plan to do every 5 to 10 years. More results from this study will be released during a public meeting at Town Hall in October.
Well, we know it's already impacted dolphins, porpoises, manatees, and thousands of fish. But just how much has red tide impacted our shorebirds like seagulls and laughing gulls? Well, as we told you last week, up until now, Save Our Seabirds in Sarasota had only seen about 6 birds in over 3 weeks suffering from the effects of red tide. But that all changed yesterday morning after dozens of birds were found unable to walk or fly on Lido, Longboat, and Siesta Keys. In fact, throughout the day, 40 birds were brought in to save our seabirds. Now, 5 of those died, but the good news, the rest have now shown signs of recovering.
We don't really know why it happens like this, just all of a sudden. It seems that the neurotoxins may be built up. They've been ingesting these fish and, toxic things for the last 3 weeks.
Now, if you see any birds in distress, you're asked to pick them up with a towel or a piece of cloth and bring them immediately to save our birds for more treatment.
Red Tide has canceled this year's Aquapalooza event on the New Pass sandbar this weekend. The party is in that shallow water between Lido and Longboat Key, adjacent to the Chart House restaurant. The event had already been postponed from earlier in the month.
Well, when it comes to progress, Manatee County is now in what's called maintenance mode. Now, that is the next step in the red tide recovery effort, and one that's going to save some money right here. Now, instead of contracting with a company to pick up all that red tide debris in residential canals and waterways, they're doing something a little different. The county is moving forward with a Neighbors and Nets program. Basically, the county will provide both nets and buckets for volunteers who want to help clean up and pick up that dead fish. Now, those supplies can be picked up at any of the 15 dumpster locations at boat ramps all throughout the county.
ABC 7 has been out in front of the red tide crisis and covering the story from every angle, from causes to tourism effects to cleanup. For answers to some of your most frequently asked questions, go to online at mysuncoast.com. Happening this week, the town of Longboat Key is having a workshop for residents in the wake of several coyote sightings. Some pet owners are especially concerned. The meeting's Thursday at 1 o'clock at Town Hall.
Well, when it comes to big days at school, picture day is always a biggie. But for one student going through cancer treatment, it ended up being one of her worst days. 13-year-old Bella Thurston is battling cancer. Now, some of her hair had fallen out after a recent round of chemo, and so that was why she started wearing a hat to school. So on picture day at Hoover Middle School, when she says the photographer told her she had to take her hat off, she was stunned.
He says that it's against policy. And I was like, okay, so I can't wear my hat. He was like, no, you can go fix your hair, take your hat off, or I won't take your picture. And I didn't let him take my picture because I didn't feel that I needed to take my hat off in order for him to take my picture.
When something happens to your kid that you can't fix, it's heartbreaking. You feel helpless.
100%. Thankfully, Life Touch Photography has since apologized for what they call a misunderstanding in that case. And this is, as a parent, this completely breaks my heart because especially younger kids, picture day is, you know, a big day. It's like that's a picture that's going to be in the yearbook or that you have for that whole year, represents your year of school. So I'm glad little Bella's like, nope, not getting my pictures.
Yeah, that person didn't know that she had a cancer issue, perhaps.
No, well, she explained. They're like, no, I'm sorry, that's policy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just didn't read the room very well, did they then?
No, they did not at all.
5:09, still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Americans are saving more money for retirement now than ever.
Now, does that mean I can start playing the lottery a little less? I hope so. Later in the hour, we've got two big social media sites that are making some big changes for college students. We'll tell you what Instagram and Tinder are doing, but first.
It is 5:10 on this Tuesday morning, primary election day, and I see our friend John Scalzi has checked the rain box this morning, John.
Yeah, you're going to see that checked all week long, I think. we have, during the morning commute, not much of a worry because, well, there's just not going to be any rainfall around. But by the time early commuters particularly head home, there will be showers, there will be thunderstorms as well, and some of them could produce some fairly heavy rainfall. Starting at around 4, 5, 6 o'clock, the rains will come down pretty heavily. Then by around 7 o'clock, it'll start to lighten up significantly. As far as the airport hubs serving Sarasota International Airport, FAA reporting they're all running on time. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
At this hour, the east wind continues across the Suncoast, east-northeast coming in at about 5. We have a temperature and dew point that are, again, the exact same number, 75 degrees, temperature and dew point, and so consequently 100% relative humidity out there. The feels like temperature, same as the air temperature, 75, but there's a lot of humidity and a lot of condensation around, so probably have to run those windshield wipers a few times to get that off your windshield. Looking at quiet conditions weather-wise through the morning hours, I think as dawn breaks here on the Suncoast, we'll have a pretty nice sky, a lot of blue out there. Sunshine will help heat things up pretty rapidly, and as we head into the noon hour, we'll be looking at temperatures pretty close to the 90-degree mark, and then we'll start to see a few showers and thunderstorms build. I think around noon there won't be a whole lot of action, but by 3, watch everything kind of explode in inland areas first and then drift toward the coastline with a 50 to 60% coverage as we head into the afternoon. Some of those storms, again, could be strong. Like yesterday, we're seeing the effects of an easterly wind flow producing some showers out in the Atlantic coast and driving them into the Florida peninsula. And we'll see that again this afternoon. Now watch radar yesterday put into motion really pretty quiet conditions until we get into the afternoon. I don't know why that didn't go into motion, but it would have shown you that as we head into the 3 o'clock hour, that's when things start to really heat up. Quiet until then. So if you have any kind of errands to run or things to do, I think you'll probably be able to get those done by about 3 o'clock without any threat of any kind of thunderstorm activity. Again, high pressure located just to our north continues to provide us with this easterly wind flow. That is kind of a typical pattern for us here in Florida at this time of year. Happens about 70% of the time. We haven't had a lot of that over the course of the summer, but we're sort of establishing it now, and it's going to be with us for the rest of the week. In this kind of a flow regime, we get the showers and thunderstorms building, moving toward the Gulf Coast, and with our sea breeze building in the afternoon, a line of stronger storms begins to develop from those storms that are pushed westward from the Atlantic coast. As they meet that sea breeze, they really do blossom and explode into larger scale storms, producing lots of rainfall, gusty winds, and frequent lightning strikes as well. That's the case all weekend long. And oftentimes in summer, you can get the transition from a normal thunderstorm to a severe thunderstorm without too much problem. So east wind pattern this week, west moving storms, and then some of the storms becoming stronger as we head into the afternoon. Futurecast shows quiet conditions through the morning hours. Then as we head into the afternoon, showers start to appear along the inland areas mostly, then develop as they get closer to the coast into some bigger storms, as that's where the sea breeze will be pinned. I think this depiction is pretty accurate as to what you expect to see a little bit later on this afternoon. Forecast looking like this for boaters today. East wind coming in at about 10 knots. And the forecast calling for daytime highs again near 92 degrees. 60% chance of showers today and tomorrow. Maybe some slightly drier air moving in on Thursday, but splitting hairs almost. As we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that trend continues of the easterly wind flow, and probably even into the beginning of next week. We'll look for temperatures throughout that period in the low 90s. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside and check out your first alert traffic on this voting day. So far, the roads are looking pretty decent in Manatee County. Not too much going on there. Pretty quiet so far. Heading into Sarasota County, the top half is looking pretty decent so far again. Not too much going on our roads just yet. And then if you're heading a little bit farther south, both 75 and 41 are still running pretty smooth at this hour. That is your first alert traffic at 5:18. And some good news, more people these days are saving for retirement than ever before. In fact, in record numbers. Mary Maloney has a closer look in today's Consumer Watch.
Are you adding more money into your retirement account? If the answer is yes, you're part of the trend. According to a new Bankrate survey, more people are saving more this year than in 2017. In fact, this is the highest rate of increased retirement savings in the survey's history. 28% of employed Americans who were surveyed say they're saving more now than last year. Older millennials ages 28 to 37 are saving the most for retirement. 39% of them reported they're making this a priority. Bankrate recommends saving at least 10% of your income for retirement. They say stagnant wages is the main reason people struggle to save. Financial experts say there are ways to overcome those income-related challenges and still find a way to save for the future. Number one, live a more modest life. This means re-examining your living expenses and how you can lower your bills. Number 2, get a side hustle. If you've downsized and your primary job still won't pay you enough to save, it's time to get a second gig. Number 3, fight for a raise. If your wages have not gone up in years, then you should ask for more money. According to the job site Career Builder, 56% of employees have never requested a raise. Among those who did ask, 66% of them were successful. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Instagram and Tinder are stepping up their game to keep college students using their apps. Both apps, which originally began on college campuses, are now adding new features specifically designed for college students. First, Instagram is testing a feature that opens up direct messaging between students at the same schools. And then the dating app Tinder is rolling out Tinder You, so users can limit their searches to other students on the same campus or nearby campuses. Now kids don't have to ever say, do you want to go out sometime?
I know. They also say kids are getting desensitized to breaking up because now they can just do it over the phone. Like,
oh, yeah.
You're not for me. Bye-bye.
I was on the tail end of that, too. That's, yeah, a lot easier, isn't it?
A little bit easier these
passive,
days.
Yeah.
A little easier. Well, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, new Google smartphones are on the way. We're going to tell you what they plan on rolling out in October. Hint, really good cameras.
And next half hour, why one Texas nurse is being investigated, the social media post that has since gone viral.
And now, quick look outside on your election day. High of about 92 today with some afternoon showers. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. But you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Welcome back. It is 5:24. The tributes to Senator John McCain continue to roll in. The Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. is honoring McCain with a portrait in its In Memoriam Hall. The National Portrait Gallery said in a statement that they wish to honor the life and legacy of the late senator and 2008 GOP presidential nominee who died on Sunday after that battle with brain cancer. Now, the photograph that they selected was actually a black and white portrait from 2005. It was a profile that they had used in the New Yorker magazine. It's going to be hanging in the hall until September 9th.
Next half hour, reaction from Vietnam.
Yes, yes. What they're wearing, and they're even doing tributes to McCain over there as well, which I thought was fascinating yesterday.
Where he was held hostage for 5 years.
Yeah, as POW.
Right.
Well, finally, new Google phones are on the way. And why in the world is everybody searching for dad shoes online?
I got to see these. Those stories in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Uber picking up some help for its plan to add self-driving cars to its fleet.
The company is teaming up with Toyota in a $500 million deal. Uber scaled back its work on self-driving cars after one of its cars hit and killed an Arizona woman in March. Toyota now joins Volvo and Daimler in working with Uber on self-driving cars. Well, we'll likely get our first look at Google's newest phones.
Bloomberg reports the Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL will be unveiled on October 9th. And ugly shoes apparently are a big trend on the web.
Are they, though? According to Google Trends, searches for dad sneakers and dad shoes have jumped more than 600% this summer. Pinterest says it's up 730% since January, but they also come with a bloated price tag, a lot of them over $1,000.
But designer ones. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Eliquis.
I've always looked forward to what's next, and I'm still going for my best, even though I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, not caused by a heart valve problem. So if there's a better treatment than warfarin, I'm up for that. Eliquis. Eliquis is proven to reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, plus has significantly less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis is FDA approved and has both. So what's next? Seeing these guys.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Eliquis, the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner. Ask your doctor if Eliquis is what's next for you.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Don't hide it. We know that sometimes emotions just get the better of you, especially at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. And we know getting a deal on the Honda Civic, a 2018 KBB.com Best Buy, can be quite liberating, especially when this stylish Honda Civic comes with Sport Mode.
Yes! Yes!
Express what you're feeling at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
I'm happy you're happy.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Civic today.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making the connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
A developing story, why a Manatee County school guardian is under investigation this morning and temporarily suspended.
We are learning more about the Jacksonville shooting suspect who police say killed 2 people and injured 12 others at a video game tournament. What court records are showing about the alleged shooter.
Hey Kiki, do you love me? Are you right and said you'll never leave beside me?
And there you go. Check this out. We're going to show you the new Hawaiian twist on Drake's In My Feelings song. So grab your ukulele. Good Morning Suncoast continues right now. And welcome back. I do too. I like this kind of twist. It's a fun little twist on that song.
I've been to Hawaii and they do play ukuleles there.
They do at the airport. I flew into Maui and they're playing ukuleles. Yes.
Now here's a big fan of ukulele, John Skulls.
You can't feel bad and listen to a ukulele.
True.
You can't.
No.
You just can't do it. We're looking at some scattered showers over on the other coast because of an easterly wind flow. Again, taking those showers, slinging them back in our direction, bringing them our way as we head into drive time tonight. But for drive time this morning, it's going to look a lot like it does right now, which is quiet. No rain showers in progress yet. Temperatures around the region, generally mid-70s. Inland area, a few upper 70s as you get closer to the coast. We're heading to another day with breakdown temperatures reaching 92 degrees with a feels like temperature of 103 or so this afternoon. 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms starting at around 3, lingering until about 5 or 6 o'clock, decreasing to about a 50% coverage by 7. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, John. Let's check first alert traffic right now. There's the scene in Manatee County. A little bit of a buildup there on State Road 64 westbound as you leave the interstate area. Checking farther south, now here's the northern half of Sarasota County. Nothing in the red besides up there at the top of your screen at University in the eastbound lane from Tuttle to Lockwood Ridge. Some extra vehicles there already this morning. And then our final stop is South County. More spots there in the red, it seems. 41 southbound, both up by the 681 connector and also down just south of the bypass at 41. A developing story this morning. A Manatee County school guardian is off the job this morning. The Bradenton Herald reports John Chinque has been suspended while the district checks out some social media posts. Some of the posts deal with conspiracy theories and some polarizing comments. His Facebook page has nearly 5,000 followers. Chinque is an officer at Canaan Elementary School. He is one of 20 Manatee County school guardians that began patrolling the schools just last week. He did complete a psychological evaluation and background check as part of his training by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office.
Well, in the wake of Sunday's shooting in Jacksonville, safety protocols are now being upgraded for future gaming tournaments. ABC's Kenneth Gibson has this and more on what we've learned about the shooter himself.
Video game developer EA Sports is canceling 3 future events as they review safety protocols following the deadly shooting in Jacksonville. The CEO saying in a statement, "I know many of us, myself included, are filled with shock and grief. Our teams have been working non-stop to do what we can to respond to this terrible situation." Shots were fired during a Madden NFL 19 video game tournament where hundreds of people from around the country came to play. On the live stream of the competition, you can hear the shots being fired and then screams.
Oh, what are you shooting with?
Before taking his own life, police say David Katz killed 2 gamers, 28-year-old Taylor Robertson and 22-year-old Elijah Clayton. In this image, a red dot can be seen on Elijah's chest.
So one of them did have like an aftermarket laser sight that attaches to the trigger guard.
Elijah is being remembered as a standout former high school football player and a kind-hearted student.
He was a good man. He did not believe in violence. He never even had a fist fight.
Robinson from West Virginia is survived by his wife and son. 10 others were shot, including Timothy Anselimo, who was hit 3 times as his half-brother watched the live stream.
My son was shot twice. He fell. He had to jump over the fence, and when he got up to leave, that's when he got shot the 3rd time.
Man, David Katz keeps to himself.
Court records obtained by ABC News show Katz previously had been hospitalized for mental illness and was prescribed antipsychotic and antidepressant medications.
I don't think of myself as a 7 seed. I think personally I'm one of the better players.
His divorced parents reportedly could not agree on how to care for him. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Now, police also say that before the shooting, Katz retrieved 2 handguns from his car. Both of those weapons were purchased legally weeks ago from a licensed dealer near his home in Baltimore.
It isn't just Americans paying respects to the late Senator John McCain. Now, Vietnam has made gestures as well. Vietnam held McCain during the war for 5 years before eventually he was released. People laid flowers at a monument in Hanoi yesterday. A state-run news agency also praised McCain for his work toward improving U.S.-Vietnamese relations. McCain last visited there 4 years ago, where he later tweeted that he always gets greeted in Hanoi in the most incredibly friendly manner. McCain died last weekend at the age of 81. Former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort is set to face a second criminal trial. The Wall Street Journal reports he tried to negotiate a plea deal, but special counsel Robert Mueller raised undisclosed points that could not be overcome. The talks reportedly took place while the jury was deliberating last week. That jury returned a guilty verdict on 8 counts of financial crimes. Next month's trial, therefore, will focus on similar money laundering charges related to Manafort's consulting work in the Ukraine before he met Donald Trump.
And an update on a controversial topic right now. Should people be allowed to print out and use 3D blueprints of guns? Well, that answer is still no. A federal judge in Seattle blocked a Texas-based company from posting those blueprints online. The State Department had reached a settlement a couple months ago with a gun rights organization that would allow the release of those prints back in July. Well, several states argue that that settlement could put untraceable guns in the hands of the public. U.S. District Judge Robert Lancic agreed Monday, and he extended his previous injunction prohibiting the printing of those blueprints, at least until this case is resolved.
A developing story out of Texas that's going viral on social media. A nurse at a Texas Children's Hospital is being investigated for posting about a patient's condition on an anti-vaccine Facebook page. Reporter Maya Shea has the story.
Inside the West Campus of Texas Children's, a baby boy younger than 3 years of age is fighting the highly infectious disease measles. The last thing his family probably expected was a pediatric intensive care nurse posting about it on Facebook. The first comments were made on a local anti-vaccine page. It reads in part, "I saw my first measles case this week. The kid was super sick enough to be admitted to the ICU, and he looked miserable. By no means am I changing my vax stance, and I never will." Further in the comments, the nurse wrote, "I'm not kidding that I thought about swabbing his mouth and bringing it home to my 13-year-old. Parents who use Texas Children's were shocked by the Facebook postings.
That's pretty frightening. I'm all for vaccinations, so I don't even know what to think of that.
I'm personally pro-vaccine, and my daughter's 7 months old, and I've gone to the doctor for all her vaccines.
Local health officials who are currently investigating the measles case says its rarity in the U.S. is directly attributed to effective vaccines.
Measles is such a concern because, one, it's preventable, right? We have vaccination that can prevent it. But number two is that because it is so easily infectious or transmittable to someone else.
Concerned parents posted the nurse's comments on the Texas Children's Facebook page, where the hospital quickly responded, "We are aware of this situation and have started a thorough investigation." Today, we're told the nurse is currently not seeing patients and that the toddler with measles is still being treated. So far this year, there are 7 confirmed cases of measles in Texas, making this case number 8.
Vaccines save lives. That's why we recommend the flu shot. That's why we recommend the schedule for children. That's why my own kids get their vaccines.
Well, health officials say vaccines can help prevent measles. There were several cases of measles reported in recent weeks in Pinellas County. Happening today, Sarasota County Commissioners will host a public hearing on a new hospital in Venice. It begins at 1:30 p.m. at the South Administration Building on US 41 in Venice, down by Jacaranda. Some neighbors on the site on Venice Avenue near Jacaranda are very much opposed to this project.
Well, flooding continues to be an issue at the intersection of 10th Street and US 41 in downtown Sarasota. Now, recently, FDOT installed 3 more pumps in the area after some major flooding back during the 4th of July. Now, despite those efforts, the system was still unable to handle all the rain we had this weekend. Now, the road flooded, causing the street to be shut down for hours. A manager of a condo building nearby says ever since that construction started, she has seen that road flood multiple times. Now, this past weekend, the building's plant beds were torn up and water came up to residents' front doors.
If water gets into the units, that's a big deal. That's, you know, moisture on the drywall and on the floors, and all that would have to be replaced. The mulches, I mean, we're talking about $700 or $800 to get that put back in.
Now, the gas station located at the corner of 41 and 10th Street says due to flooding, they've had to close down some of their pumps for a while. FDOT says they do try to prepare for storms, but it's hard to predict just how much rain each individual storm may bring.
Damage from all the rain left behind by Hurricane Lane in Hawaii could go into the millions of dollars. 170 residents and businesses reported damage so far. The county will ask for millions in aid from the state of Hawaii. And this is on top of the $650 million request already for that lava disaster there. Air pollution may do more than affect your lungs. It may also negatively impact your brain. A study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences says breathing polluted air results in a steep reduction in verbal and math test scores. The data is based on roughly 32,000 people over a 4-year period in China. The World Health Organization says 9 out of every 10 people on the planet breathe air containing a high level of pollutants. The worst offenders are in Asia and Africa.
Well, now to a song that's gone viral and that Ray over here can't stop singing. We're talking about Drake's big hit, In My Feelings, but now a new version with a little Hawaiian twist. So check it out.
Hey Kiki, do you love me? Are you right and said you'll never leave beside me? 'Cause I want you.
As John Scalzi said, it is impossible to feel bad when Hawaiian music is playing. Now, the 22-year-old that you're watching goes by the Instagram name Golden Kaleo. He says he's been playing Hawaiian music since he was about 5 years old. He's also done it with a few other songs like Wild Thoughts by Rihanna and some others as well.
Nice little niche right there, huh?
I know, I appreciate this. Nice twist on that too. We're hearing that song a lot on the radio. It's almost gone by the way of Despacito. People, you know what I'm saying here.
Radio, I've heard of that thing. Still ahead, it is finally here, primary election day. When we come back, Marla Spence is going to talk live to the elections supervisor in Sarasota County, Ron Turner. Will join us next right here on Good Morning Suncoast.
But first, here is a look outside as dawn is getting ready to break. Another pretty typical August day on the way, right, John Scalzi?
I think so, yeah. We'll see those afternoon showers and thunderstorms build once again with an easterly wind, which will hopefully continue to help the red tide situation along our coastline. This is the latest from Moat Marine. Their reports with folks out at these beaches actually taking in situ measurements and determining that Coquina, Lido, Siesta, and Minnesota have moderate amounts of red tide irritant in the air, while the other beaches are looking at low amounts. So hopefully that'll continue on today and even get better. The complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our nation's youth. We believe veterans earn their benefits through their service to our nation. We believe in a strong national security. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion, and we believe it makes a difference. If you believe, learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at an air temperature and a dew point temperature coming in at exactly the same, 75, both of them. That brings you to 100% relative humidity out there, and it feels a little humid. East-northeast wind continues lightly at about 5. That east wind will be a fixture throughout the day today. I don't see much change there, except right along the immediate coast you'll develop a sea breeze. Once you develop the sea breeze, we'll start thinking about chances of rainfall. That sea breeze probably starting up around the noontime hour, maybe a little before, coming in about 90 degrees by noon, 92 by 3. By 3, we'll start to see the east wind carrying in showers into Hardy, DeSoto, maybe even into western parts of Charlotte, Manatee, and Sarasota counties. And then as we head into the 4, 5, 6 o'clock hours, those inland showers will be moving closer to the coastline, where they'll probably blossom because they'll hit that sea breeze front, and the updrafts will markedly rise and strengthen. So you see the effect of the easterly wind flow on these radar echoes. Gradually, the fetch of air off the Atlantic coast, picking up some moisture, creating some showers. There's also a little trough of low pressure here that's helping to enhance rainfall chances. All of that gradually drifting across the state into our neck of the woods later in the day. Right now, we're not looking at much in the way of any kind of echoes, and really don't anticipate seeing any during your morning drive time. Today will be pretty much a carbon copy of yesterday, with one exception. Yesterday we had a couple of big storms, no doubt about that. Gusty winds, even damaging winds. We had some very heavy downpours of rain and some frequent lightning. I think we'll have that same thing again this afternoon, but we'll have more of them. I think our rain chances will be a little bit higher today than they were yesterday. We have more moisture in the air coming our way, and we have this little trough of low pressure that's helping to enhance our rain shower chances. High pressure to the north, easterly wind on the underbelly of that high continues today, and we have winds that are localized sea breezes that will clash with that easterly wind. So our showers build all along the west coast of Florida. Rain chance probably at about 40% or so. So 60% or so. So we look at that east wind continuing at about 10 knots today. That will bring you light chop with about 2-foot seas. And the extended range forecast looks like this. We'll have today about a 92 for a daytime high, 60% chance of rainfall, Same thing happens again tomorrow. Good chance of rainfall, some of the storms heavy. We'll have across the region continuing of about a 50% chance of rainfall with 91 the temperature. Same thing on Friday. And then as we head into the weekend, the all-important weekend, about a 60% chance of rainfall. Excuse me, 92 the daytime high, and that'll carry us right into next week. Each day feels like temperature cracking 100. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check out what's going on in your morning commute on this election day. The roads are not looking too bad so far in Manatee County. Still pretty quiet at this hour. In Sarasota County, pretty much the same. Couple slowdowns right there on Fruitville near Cardinal Mooney High School, but other than that, it's all running pretty decent. And then a little bit farther south, 75 and 41 are running pretty smooth for the most part. No real issues out there at 549. Well, happening today, it is the Florida primaries. People all across the state are going to be casting their votes for national, state, and local races.
Marla Spence is live with the Sarasota County Elections Supervisor. Marla, good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. Today is officially the big day for the national, state, and local primaries. There are close to 314,000 registered voters in Sarasota County alone, many who will be casting their votes if they haven't already done so through early voting. Joining me right now is the Supervisor of Elections for Sarasota County, Ron Turner. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be here with you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We all know that polls do open at 7 o'clock this morning. What does it take to pull an election off like this?
Well, as you've seen this morning, we have our poll workers that are arriving about 6 o'clock this morning to get set up, to make sure, our tabulators are working, to get our electronic poll books up so that we have everything, together and ready to go at 7 a.m. when those polls open, so we're ready to serve the voters of Sarasota County.
Awesome. And poll workers will be here starting at 6 o'clock this morning, I take it?
They are. The polls open from 7 a.m. and they're open to 7 p.m. this evening. But yes, our workers are here this morning at all the polling locations and even in my offices this morning preparing for the polls to open at 7 a.m.
Now, we all know that there are state and national races, including the governor's race, but there are also several local races as well for voters. Right. And so those are just as important as those national and state races.
Well, I'd like to remind voters that there's something for everyone to vote in today during this primary election. Yes, we do have closed primaries, so if you're a registered Democrat, you get a Democratic ballot. If you're a registered Republican, you get a Republican ballot. However, we have a nonpartisan ballot. On every ballot in Sarasota County, you have a judicial race and 3 school board races. So there's something for everyone to vote on. And as you said, we have some important local races like school board, county commission races. We have state rep, Congress, obviously the governor's race, attorney general, commissioner of agriculture, those things. So there's a lot to vote on in today's election.
And then talk about the voter turnout. This is something we were talking about a little earlier.
Right. So coming into Election Day, we've had more than an 18% voter turnout, which is tremendous because if you look at past primaries, at times we've had maybe a 21% turnout or maybe 24 or 25. So we're starting out with over 18 going into Election Day. We've had more than 40,000 vote by mail ballots returned, more than 14,000 people voted during early voting in person. And I just want to remind voters that they can still return their vote by mail ballots. Postmarks don't work for those, so you need to drop those off at the elections office, not at polling sites today, but at an elections office in downtown Sarasota, in Venice, or in Northport, and we can still take those until 7 o'clock this evening.
Well, thank you so much,
thank you.
Ron Turner. And
Appreciate
guys,
it.
like you heard it, polls open at 7 o'clock this morning, and they close at 7 this evening. So we will be bringing you some more information on what you need to know as you head to the polls this morning at 6:30. We'll also be having another live interview with the Supervisor of Elections, Ron Turner. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Marla, thank you. We'll update the day's top 3 news headlines after this. Stay with us.
According to a new survey by U.S. News & World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jaffe Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
So besides the primaries today, also a week from Thursday, the designers of the Bay project on Sarasota Bay will unveil the final designs at City Hall. Yeah.
All right, looking forward to that. We'll have more story too. There's a Manatee County school guardian that's been suspended this morning because of some of the things that he's posting on social media, which is something that we always talk about. Employers always finding out some of your posts out there. So it's an interesting story. We'll have that for you in the 6 o'clock hour. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.